Hi everyone. So today we are talking about a very different topic. We are talking about Silver Age. And we are about to enter a Silver Age. What does that mean? What is the implication for you? What does that have an impact on your portfolio? What are the better decisions you can make? We will dive into each aspect of it. So watch till the end to understand the Silver Age completely and understand the implications of that for you as an individual. So let's dive in. So historically, we've seen that silver was used as a precious metal, or it can be used for photography or jewelry making, or as a store of value at the same time. It was an asset class for that matter. But lately, what is happening? For the past couple of years or decades, we are seeing that growing usage of silver in the industrial application. What I mean by that is, earlier, if you see 4 years back, 2020, the effective split of usage of silver as a precious metal or industrial was something around precious metal was lying around 55%, and then the industrial usage was around 45%. But down the line, 2023, in just 3 to 4 years time span, the numbers have just reversed. What I mean by that is, now 45% of silver is being used in terms of the category of precious metal, but the rest of it is specifically used for industrial. So this growth implies a lot of things, and we will dive into what I mean by that is. So at present, the split stands at that the silverware stands at 5%, jewelry stands at 17%, physical investments 20%, and then photography 3%. Rest all that is 55% is currently industrial application, and that is bound to grow no matter what, and we cannot stop it because we don't have a very head-on competitor that can replace silver very easily. Now moving on, we will focus on three main use cases we've identified and three main usages as of now in the industries. There are a lot more, but we've taken the three main primary ones, and we will be complementing it with a bonus use case at the end of the video. So make sure that you stay till the end to understand the bonus use case as well, because that's like a pretty shocking use case and you might not be aware of that one for sure. Moving on, the solar energy and PV cells. So what is happening as we go towards green energy, clean energy? Solar is one of the finest route that governments can take or the public sector can take, and we will see an increase in the solar energy production. And what is the underlying object or underlying unit of a solar energy? It is a PV cell. And on an average, an solar cell uses 111 milligrams of silver. So it is a domino effect, you can understand from that standpoint. As the government's focus, as the geopolitical situation, because this year when we have the United Nations Conference for Climate Change in November, the nations will be forced to move towards clean energy, green energy, to reduce their carbon emissions, carbon footprint. Clean energy is bound to grow. That will result in solar energy growing. That will result in more PV cells, and that will further translate to increased demand of silver. So that is the first. The second one, the automotive sector or the EV sector. So this is a very nuanced and a unique use case. Why I say that? So silver was being used in the traditional combustion engine vehicles also. But the amount of silver required in a combustion engine vehicle versus the electric vehicle is almost 2x more in an automated vehicle or electric vehicle as compared to combustion engine. So even if the rate of manufacturing, the number of cars manufactured remains the same, and as we progress towards the EV category, we will be using twice the amount of silver that was required earlier. So why is it happening? So EV requires more electrical components, because at the end of the day, everything is battery driven. Nothing is coming from any kind of an engine or something. So more electrical equipments are required, more chips are required, more circuits are required. And all of them consume silver in some capacity or the other. And on top of that, if you see, then there is the main bucket or main buzzword, artificial intelligence. So there is no direct linkage of artificial intelligence and silver, but whatever is at the back end of artificial intelligence is consuming silver to an extent. Let's say nanotechnology, biotechnology, consumer wearables, data centers. The large data centers are like a big consumers for silver. So to enable artificial intelligence, to ensure that we are moving at a pace that is required, then that will intrinsically consume more silver as we enable those use cases. Because as we grow in consumer wearable segment, or in, let's say, machine learning segment, the computing power is required, then the data centers are required, the servers are required. All of them consume silver in some capacity. Somewhere it is being used a lot, somewhere it's less, but it is being used at the end of the day. Very first use case is the solar energy PV use case. And if I have to give you a quick glimpse, this is across the globe, the forecast of solar energy. So if you see here, right now we are just standing somewhere below 500 gigawatts, and the expectation is that we will reach about 1000 gigawatts in 2034. That is, in the next 8 to 9 years, we will double our solar energy capacity across the globe. And that will be coming from solar cells, and then the increased demand of silver is bound to happen if we rely on this data point. Now moving on to electric vehicle. This is an interesting one. See, everything that you see in an electric car, be it automatic braking system, active yaw control, parking system, engine control, parental control, I cannot take all the names, but whatever you see on the screen uses silver in some capacity. I'm not saying that these components are made of silver, but silver is used in some capacity, in some amounts, in all these elements. And as we increase the manufacturing of cars, the requirement of these elements will increase, and further the requirement of silver or consumption of silver by the automotive sector will increase. If you see, typically, if I have to give you a range, a EV vehicle requires 25 to 50 grams of silver per vehicle. Now, artificial intelligence, so data centers, wherever you see the infrared radars, laser radars, electronic control units, switches, displays, everywhere, it's not completely made of silver, but silver goes into the manufacturing in some capacity because of its property, because of its ductility, because of its less resistance. So it is being used, and there is no head-on competitor as of now discovered that can easily replace silver with this very similar set of properties at a cheaper price. So that's not there as of now. Now I will get to the bonus use case, or the very interesting one, the Samsung EV batteries with silver. So Samsung recently published something that is silver-based batteries. The anode will be made of silver. You need not to go into the principles or the workings of the battery. Let's understand the concept. So they are saying that typically right now, if your battery is taking 30 minutes to get a charge, the silver battery that they have produced, they have done a POC, it will just take 9 minutes for it to recharge. But the catch there would be, first, it will be very expensive. So I'm not sure if this will be adopted by industry or not, if this will be properly consumed, this battery will be cascaded to the masses or not. So that's the first question. But if it does, then it will take silver to all new heights. And why I say that, because this battery will require around 200 cells of silver. What does it mean? Every vehicle that consumes this battery will be equipped with 1 kilogram of silver. So the number of vehicles multiplied by 1 kg of silver, that is huge. That is something crazy. So if this happens, then silver will rally to almost like, I cannot even measure, like 3-fold or 4-folds. But this, if implemented and adopted by the masses, then it will make a significant change. So follow this news for sure. We will also keep you updated, but stay tuned for the more on Samsung silver based batteries that reduces charging time to just 9 minutes. It's a great technology, but let's see how the adoption goes. Now, if you see, we are seeing a relatively increased price since like 2025 beginning of the silver. Right now, it's almost $32 per ounce, and it touched the all-time high around $35. But this time around, when it goes to 35, the all-time high, my expectation is it will break that and rally further because of the beauty of how it is moving. It is making lower lows and higher highs. So it is bound to rally further. And this is a very good investment opportunity, because what is happening right now, the demand has been created and it is not being realized on ground right now. So the scarcity is not hit the market. So once the parity hits the market, then we will be seeing proper rally for silver prices. And you don't want to get into the silver opportunity at that point of time. But right now, you should have silver in your portfolio in some amount for sure, because first, it is a very good asset to maintain when there is a geopolitical situation or we are seeing economic shutdown or economic drawdown. So in those kind of situations, first, silver and gold are good commodities to hold. It gives the flavor of diversification to your portfolio. Plus, right now, silver looks very optimistic from a future price standpoint. So overall, my recommendation would be have some silver in your portfolio in any form, be it physical, be it bond, be it silver bees or silver ETF, but you should have silver in your portfolio in some proportions. So that's it for now. And thanks a lot for watching so far. And if you liked the video, it was useful, or you were convinced to get silver in your portfolio, hit the like button for such videos. And please subscribe so that you can get a notification when we post such amazing videos about the new financial concepts. Thank you.